Welcome back. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Sea Fury at 5.3. This plane is very straightforward in the sense that it doesn't really turn. The turn rate is pretty bad. It's among the worst that you will find in any single engine fighters. But the climb rate and the speed are pretty good. They're not the best, they're not the worst, they're definitely above average. They're closer to good than to average. But they do not really make up for the deficit that you get in maneuverability. Your ammo is kinda low at 580 rounds in total, and with the Hispanos you are mostly looking at just a lot more. Look at the Tempest Mark V, which has 800. This plane isn't completely terrible, however, but you do need a bit of an advantage. If you do not have the advantage in this thing, you are gonna be struggling a little bit, simply because you don't have the turn rate to really defend yourself, and if the enemy has more altitude than you, that mostly means that he can dive on you and outrun you. Your rip speed is pretty damn respectable, but against some planes you're simply not going to be getting away, and if people catch you in this thing, you can almost bet yourself that you are gonna be eating dirt. And now we are stuck with a G55 above us, and the reason I didn't go for him initially is because it looked like he was diving away, he was kind of ignoring us, and the 190 was actively turning for us. So I thought to myself, I'm gonna shoot the guy down that's actually paying attention, and then I'll kill the other guy that's diving to the deck, that's not really looking around. Now I'm stuck with a G55 above us, but he's going for the B17, so I'm kind of thinking I might be able to do a little bit of a suicide maneuver and see if I can kill him, as he's not looking at us at all. I'm not gonna pitch up for him instantly. It might have provided us a shot and the kill instantly right there, but if he was paying attention, we would have instantly been dead as well. So I wait a little bit to get on the 6 to see if he was going for the B17, if he was paying attention, and it looks like he wasn't, so I got on the 6, but now he still has the altitude advantage, and I start to dive out because it looks like he's actually going for us instead of the B17. And I just want to see if I can drag him down to the deck. The B17 now is at least clear for the time being. And we are going to be seeing if we can actually do something about the G55 that has the advantage now. The positive here is that the G55 is not the best vehicle. It's very draggy. It doesn't have the best acceleration and it doesn't have the best top speed. So we can abuse that to drain his balls dry and maybe turn this around. But he has a lot of altitude on us. If he had actually shown that he was aware of us, I wouldn't have done such a ballsy maneuver at all. And if he was merely pretending, then he probably would have, well, sabotaged me and killed me right then and there. But hey, he didn't. He is still very much busy trying to chase down the B-17. And this gives us the opportunity to just kind of cruise back to altitude and see if we can close the distance between us. If he keeps this much of a tunnel vision on the B-17, we can just kinda slide into his DMs and start shooting at him. If he starts showing interest at us, then well, we can just straight line out. The G55 is not that big of a deal, and then I thought he was going for us, but I'm pretty sure he's just gonna change and go back to the Lancaster that just flew over, and that's exactly what he did. Because of that, he gets damaged a little bit by the gunners. He's sparking all his rounds off, and he gets gunned down by the Lancaster, which is pretty much perfect. This kind of interaction will take a very long time if it didn't go down this way. If he went all the way down to the deck with us, we would have been fine. We outrun him, we outclimb him, we shallow climb him, we have much better retention, we have a much better top speed, and we can abuse that all day long. But it's still an annoying plane to fight, because the G55 turns quite well, climbs quite well, and of course has the 3 MG151s, which, well, if he starts going full commit head on with us, we're in a little bit of a pickle. 190 comes in, and the good news is we are going 600 kilometers an hour IS, which is higher than his straight line top speed, and he's below us. So there is not a conceivable manner in which he has more energy. He's climbing up to us, and we are going faster than his straight line top speed. So there's no chance that he has the energy to pull up for this, so we just kind of break off, deny him the head-on, and see what he does. We now have him kind of by the balls, and we just kind of turn into him. Now keep in mind, I haven't played the game in 2 weeks, and this guy is styled out. I say to myself, well, very easy shot, and boy is this the wave of the year. We basically miss everything, but hey, it's a good learning opportunity, because you guys ask me, what do I do if I miss my shots? Well, you do exactly this. We maintain our advantage, and we simply go back up. and we repeat the process. He's almost 1.4 kilometers away and he's cutting us off. That means that he is almost stalling out. And again, we do the exact same thing. Now, of course, if he breaks off and dives to the deck, then it takes a little bit longer because he maintains his energy. But it's an A8. It's not the most maneuverable, fast, or well-climbing plane. So we put him into a flat spin, we shoot him down, and that's all she wrote. 190A goes down and we decide to go back for a landing because we're right next to the airfield. We are on 6 minutes of fuel and there is plenty of enemies left. So I do like to have my odds up and just make sure that we actually have the ability to carry this match. We have a 109 that's going near the runway. We have a 190 that's on the middle of the map on the right. And then there's a third guy in a bomber, I believe. And there he is. It's Hazy, the moderator, but the dog version, if you are familiar with my Discord server. And, I mean, he's just flying directly towards us. And I'm gonna take him down as he is busy flying towards us. And the other enemies are kind of scattered around. Because I do not want this guy to start flying at us with his gunship mode as I'm 1v1ing the 109. Why? Because gunners are hella annoying. This guy is kind of just oblivious. He's a bomber player. What can you expect? He goes down and we just break off and fly towards the 109, who is also in an altitude disadvantage. We don't know exactly how quick that he's going, but we are picking up speed. We are reaching his straight line speed again, and this is just a great indication of how much energy someone has. If you know your enemy plane and you know that he will go maybe 550-ish max in a straight line, and we're going over that and we have more altitude, you can almost always do this. He's also climbing up to us, so he's nowhere near his top speed, but even if he was, it wouldn't be that risky. It's a 109G, so his top speed will be about 550-ish, I think it is, on the deck. And we do the exact same thing as we did to the 190 earlier. And you don't need to know every top speed to the letter. You just need to know if you're faster or slower than something. It doesn't come down to 1 or 2 kilometers an hour. You just need to have a rough idea. So we fly up. He is completely out of energy and we just kind of, well, what's he gonna do? Essentially nothing, because he just doesn't have the speed to really do anything. Luckily, he kind of got himself killed by not going down and keeping his energy and staying evasive. And now the 190 comes in just after his teammate dies, and it's actually 1-1. And this guy is also not going to be going that quick because he has been climbing up to us this entire time. When we started that engagement with the 109, we had about 1.5 to 2 kilometers of altitude on this guy, and we didn't waste that much. We did waste a little bit, but he is not gonna get that close to us. So now we go to about 400, 350-ish kilometers an hour and we start just pulling. Why do we do this? Because I have altitude and he might rate almost the same. The thing is, we have a lot more speed to work with, a lot more altitude to convert into speed. So I can use my flaps sometimes, I can just kind of stay on a 6. And this is a very boring fight, but I just have so much more energy that he has no option other than to go downwards. If it's an actual straight up dogfight, I am not that confident against a 190 Dora. But I can maintain about 420 kilometers an hour. I want to stay up north of 400 and just kind of keep pushing him down. And you can tell that I'm slowly gaining on him. Every time he dips down, he drops his nose, he loses more altitude. And he is just not in a great spot. I'm on his 6, you can tell that because my nose is much closer to his tail than his nose is to my tail. And then he goes vertical, last ditch effort, and we just deny him the counter attack here. We pull up over his nose and we just park it directly on his 6. He then kind of turns into my guns. He got himself killed in the end, but there was realistically very little he could do from the start of that engagement. He shouldn't have engaged me in that manner anyway. He should have probably tried to counterattack me. It doesn't really matter. Junker 288 then tries to fly towards the absolute corner of the map to win on tickets, but he's only a rookie rat. He needs to learn a lot before he can become King Rat himself. Luckily for us, however, because he then decides to fly directly in front of us, and it ended up costing him the game. Not that he deserved a win after all he did, but yeah, that's a topic for another time. He burns up and we just kind of shoot at him, secure the bag and go into the next lobby. And this is the actual game after. You will see that I fly this thing almost the same way every time. I noticed that the 190 is flying towards us, and instead of trying to climb over him, I'm gonna go level, maybe even dive a little bit to pick up some speed. And if we go into a dogfight with this man, then we have some speed to work with. If you go very slow, we just end up flying directly in his guns. We're going very slow here. And this is borderline suicidal. He could have ended the match right here. Luckily, he's also going very slow because he had been climbing this entire time and he didn't really have that much airspeed to turn his nose onto us. That's the only reason we survived there. It's because he didn't do what we did. We had a little bit of altitude, we had a lot more energy. We decided to go over his nose. If he had pulled a little bit sooner and anticipated where I was going, I probably would have died right there. But that's not what happened. I'm going to show you it regardless, but I'm not going to pretend like that wasn't completely risk-free. The issue is if I decide to stick a head-on, I get a 50-50, whereas if he's very slow, if he's not that great at head-ons, if he's not that good at aiming, and especially at that low of an airspeed in a 190, there is a chance I can just pull up over his nose and then I have him stalled out, because I had a lot more energy, so I was very much confident that my odds were higher in trying to dodge him than trying to stick it in a suicidal head-on in which we both collect some rounds. So he goes down and now we have a Yak 3 on our 6, and a Yak 3 is very annoying to deal with, especially if they don't really engage you. But they have a pretty low rip speed and I'm gonna try to use that to my advantage. I'm going 670 almost underneath his nose and I'm hoping that he tries to stick it, and the second he sticks I'm gonna kind of pull under him, and if he decides to follow it because he sees that I'm getting closer to him, he will break his wings off. Unfortunately for us, that's not what he does. He recommits to us. The thing is, we are much quicker. We are going 40 over his rip speed right now. And our straight line top speed is higher as well. So there's really not a way in which he can catch us anymore. And I'm just kind of waiting for him to get bored. I will then put my nose up, not make too many maneuvers, and just store as much speed into altitude before I recommit. But I don't want to wait too long, because then the Spitfire becomes very vulnerable. The thing is, if the Spitfire had died right there and I would have been a little bit more aggressive, then the Yak 3 would have had more of a chance to actually go for us. Because the Yak 3 is an absolute incredible aircraft, even at 5.0. He gets stuck in a fight with a Spitfire. We come back in, we third party him. Spitfire survive. We survive. Yak 3 goes down and we are free to do whatever we want. Well, until Fugong over there appears in his LA7 and he is clearly hauling balls. The LA7 in this kind of position can kind of just point his nose at us and kill us in the long run. We might have a higher rip speed again. The issue here is that my rip speed isn't gonna help. He can just maintain his rip speed, slowly but surely cruise up to me, and eventually he will catch me. The thing is, he keeps breaking off. Every time we get about 2 kilometers apart, he will just put his nose back up and fly away. Why does he do this? No idea. He's playing this way too cautiously. Some people say, well, it's because of your squadron attack. Some people say, he doesn't know the vehicle. And maybe, sure, like if you don't know the vehicle, playing it like this doesn't get you anywhere, because you won't learn the vehicle. You need to actually get in a fight with him. If you don't take any risk, you don't risk anything. Yes, that makes perfect sense, I know. But if you don't risk anything, 9 out of 10 times you also don't learn anything. And this guy, I mean, he's just trying to get on my 6, so I keep climbing a little bit to get him closer, make him commit to the fight, but he just doesn't do anything. The LA7 has me by the balls, and it doesn't matter who I am basically. All that matters is what he does. If he doesn't mess this up in a very grand manner, there is nothing I can do in this scenario. I don't have any teammates around, and yes, that's on purpose. I'm trying to isolate this fight. I can try to win it. If I win it, it's good footage. If I lose it, if he does it right, it's still good footage. So either way, win-win. He is just not attacking me. He's just kind of standing there menacingly, and he's not really gaining. He can just put his nose on me, hold his cursor on my vehicle, and he will win. He has position, he has altitude. He has everything he needs, and he even has the battle plane. So again, we're gonna try to lure him down here and hope that he breaks off, because that's all he has been doing. He does exactly that. If you play this cautiously, you become very much predictable. When he flies directly in my guns, we take some shots at him, we crit his left wing, and we also do some other damage, and he will still win this fight. And you can tell that he is right now outturning me with his damaged vehicle. And we will just kind of maintain speed, and we're trying to make him burn as much of it as possible, because he has a crit wing route, or crit wing, I don't know what I damaged. he will bleed more speed than us. He is going to lose more energy. And I'm just kind of hoping that he tries to reverse us by zero throttling. He doesn't do such a thing. He's maintaining his energy. And he's very slow right now. He's going about 250, maybe, probably closer to 200. And I'm just going to make him do one more turn. And we just break off. We are going 500. He's going and nowhere near that. And we just kind of leave him in the dust. We then put it in a very shallow climb. And just like that, we reverse our energy state. I now have a massive advantage. He's also damaged, so he's not going to have a very easy time actually trying to shoot us down. And for now, all I want to do is just kind of get away from him. I'm building up speed quite quickly. His speed will be lower. His acceleration will be lower. His retention will be lower. All in all, his plane will just be much worse off. And if we then put him into a little bit of a spiral where he has to continuously pull, you can tell that he's basically just falling out of the air. He's trying to get his nose on us to shoot us from long range. He probably should have tried to go straight for a little bit and then pull in later. But it doesn't matter. He just doesn't have the energy anymore because he took it so cautiously. He took zero risk. And because of that zero risk, he gave me an opening. Because he's not putting any pressure on me. He leaves me to do what I want to do. If he then dodges my guns, sure, it's annoying. But right now we are in the exact same scenario as we were with the 190 earlier. I am going to win this raid fight because I have more energy than him. And he's also damaged, so he probably won't raid that well anymore anyway. But he breaks off because, well, he notices that he's losing. He's trying to go back to his airfield. He's just in complete limp mode and there's very little he can do at this stage. He's going to try to dodge our shots, but it's really not going to do him much good. That's all there is. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you in the next one.